Picture this. It's 10 p.m. You have a massive history paper due in 2 days, or maybe a math final you are absolutely dreading. You're procrastinating, scrolling TikTok, feeling that familiar pit of anxiety in your stomach. And then you see some productivity guru say, just use the Pomodoro method. It's easy. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break. So you try it. You set your little tomato timer on your phone, sit up straight and force yourself to focus. 10 minutes in, you're miserable. You're just staring at the clock waiting for it to end. 15 minutes in? Okay, wait. Your brain finally starts clicking. You're getting into the groove. You're writing a killer sentence. You actually understand what you're reading. And then, beep beep beep. Break time. Put your pencils down. You stop mid-thought. And suddenly, you kind of want to throw your laptop across the room. If that feels familiar, I need you to listen closely right now. Because that popular advice, that 25-minute timer everyone swears by, it might actually be the very reason you feel burned out and unable to focus on deep work. Let's talk about why the Pomodoro technique is kinda lying to you and what you should actually do instead. Look, I'm not hating on the Pomodoro technique entirely. If you need to clean your room or answer 20 boring emails, sure. 25 minutes is great for tasks you hate doing. But for studying? For actually learning hard stuff? It's kind of a disaster. Here's the honest truth about focus that those 15-second videos don't tell you. Real, deep focus isn't a light switch. You don't just flip it on because you set a timer. Getting into deep focus is more like trying to fall asleep. You have to settle in. Your brain has to calm down, clear out the noise, and slowly warm up to the task. For a lot of us, especially if you have ADHD or just a busy brain, that warm-up period can take 15 or 20 minutes just to start. Think about it. If it takes you 20 minutes to actually get focused, the Pomodoro timer goes off 5 minutes later. You're basically scheduling your own interruptions. And science tells us that every time you get snapped out of the zone, it takes an average of 23 minutes to get back to that same level of depth. So by forcing a break, just when things are getting good, you are guaranteeing that you never actually do deep work. You're just skimming the surface over and over again. That's why you study for 3 hours but feel like you got nothing done. So if the timer is the enemy, what do we do instead? We stop chasing the clock and we start chasing flow. You know flow? It's that magical feeling where the world kind of melts away. You look up, 2 hours have passed in what felt like 20 minutes, you didn't check your phone once, and you actually finished the assignment. That is the gold standard of studying. It feels better, and the results are way better. And guess what? A rigid 25-minute timer is the fastest way to kill flow. Okay, so how do we hack flow on demand? It's not magic, it's a system. It's about listening to your energy, not a clock. Here is a 4-step alternative I want you to try tonight. Step 1. The zero friction zone. You cannot enter flow if your environment is fighting you. It is physically impossible to get into the zone if your phone buzzes every 30 seconds. Before you even think about studying, you have to secure the perimeter. Phone in another room. Seriously. Put it in the kitchen. Do not disturb on your laptop. Close out the 50 tabs you aren't using. If your desk is a mess, your brain will feel like a mess. Clear space, clear mind. Pause this video and throw your phone on your bed right now if it's near you. I'll wait. Okay. Good. Step 2. The low-stakes entry. This is the hardest part. The start. We stare at the blank page and we get paralyzed by the mountain of work. Pomodoro says, work for 25 minutes. That feels heavy. Instead, I want you to use a low-stakes entry. Don't say I'm going to write the essay. Say I'm going to open the document and just type the title page. Don't say I'm going to study for biology. Say I'm going to read one paragraph and summarize it in the margin. You have to trick your brain into starting by making the bar so low you can't fail. Usually, once you do the small thing, the momentum kicks in. Step 3. Ride the wave, no timers. This is the crucial difference. Once you start, hide every clock. Turn off the time display on your laptop. You are going to work until the work feels done or until your brain naturally kicks you out. If you get into flow and you're crushing it for 90 minutes, amazing. Keep going. Do not stop because some arbitrary rule told you to. Ride that wave until it crashes on the shore. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds scary. What if I burn out? What if I just sit there for 4 hours staring at a wall? You won't. Because your body knows when it needs a break better than an app does. Which brings us to the last step. Step 4. The natural break. Your brain has natural energy cycles. Usually around 60 to 90 minutes of intense focus, you'll start to feel it slide. You'll get fidgety. You'll feel thirsty. You'll start rereading the same sentence 3 times without understanding it. That is the alarm bell. That is your body saying, okay, I'm tapped out for now. When that happens, stop immediately and take a real break. Real break means stand up, walk away from the screen, get water, pet your dog, stare out a window. Scrolling TikTok is not a break. That's just blasting your tired brain with more information. Let your brain actually diffuse the pressure for 10 or 15 minutes. When you feel refreshed, you go back to step 2 and start the low-stakes entry again. Look, the goal isn't to robotically study in neat little boxes. The goal is to understand things and get them done without hating your life. Stop treating your brain like an assembly line machine that turns on and off instantly. Treat it like a muscle that needs to warm up before it can lift heavy weights. Give yourself permission to ditch the timer. It's okay if your study session doesn't look perfect on Instagram. Try a flow session tonight. Just 1. Hide the clocks, lower the stakes to get started, and see how long you can naturally ride the wave. Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt personally victimized by that tomato timer. You got this. Now go set up your zero friction zone.